Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. How are you? I'm Jan Ahmed Abdel Sadiq and today we'll talk about maths. In this video, we'll talk about some questions and we'll solve it together. Now the first question is to find C. We have A and we have B. But this angle is a right angle triangle. Now if you can see that we want to find C and we will use the Pythagoras theorem. We know that Pythagoras theorem is c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. So this is the Pythagoras theorem. After that, we know that c we don't know, so that means b c is the same. And a squared we have 6 squared plus 8 squared. Okay. After that, we'll write here c squared is equal to 36 plus 64. Okay, because 6 times 6 is 36 and 8 times 8 is 64. After that, c squared is equal to 100 because 36 plus 64 is 100. After that, we multiply the both sides by radical to cut the 2. Okay, 2 by the radical. Then we have c is equal to radical 100. And we know that 10 times 10 is equal to 100. That means c is equal to 10. The square root of 100 is 10. This is the final answer for this question. That means c is equal to 10 centimeter. Now let us go for the next question that says to find a. Also the same thing, it's a right angle triangle and we'll use the Pythagoras theorem. Now we have the Pythagoras theorem that it is c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. We have c squared, and how can we know if it's c squared or not? Because the place of each letter is very important. How to know c in this angle? Because the opposite of the hypotenuse is always the hypotenuse or the c. Okay, so now we have c squared, that means 13 squared is equal to a squared, we don't know, plus 5 squared. Now it will be 169 is equal to a squared plus 25. After that, how can we solve it? We'll convert, we'll shift 25 to 169 and a squared will be alone. That means here it will be 169 minus 25 is equal to a squared. And after we subtract it, 169 minus 25, 4, 4, 1. That means it will be 144 is equal to a squared. Now also we multiply the both sides by radical to cut the 2. That means radical and radical. Radical by 2 and radical 145. The square root of 145 is 12. So that means a is equal to 12. This is the final answer for these part questions. Now let us go and to continue on the other questions. Now the third question in this video, it says to find B, H and A. The height and the side of B and the side of A. Okay, so now we know that we will use the Euclides theorem. The Euclides theorem that says B squared is equal to A1 times C. That's C, not A, okay? And a squared is equal to b1 times c. And the height is equal to a1 times b1. So this is the formulas of Euclides theorem, okay, that we will use in this triangle. First thing, we have a1 that it is 6 centimeter and b1 it's 18 centimeter. Now, how to find the small letter of c? and to find A, B, and the height. Now we know that A1 and B1, C is the sum of A1 and B1. That means 6 plus 18 is equal to 24. It will be 24 centimeters. Now we have the A1, B1, and C, the small letter C. Now let us to find the B squared, A squared, and the H squared. Now first thing, we'll bring the B squared. That means A1 times C. And it will be 6 times 24. Now we have B squared is equal to 6 times 24. It will be B squared is equal to 144. And we'll multiply the both sides by radical to cut the 2. That means it will be by radical, 2 by radical, and B is equal to 144 or radical 144, and the square root of 144 is 12. So that means B is equal to 12. Now we find B. Let us to find A and the height. We have now 12 in place of B. And now A squared is equal to B1 times C. That means 18 times 24. A squared is equal to B1 times C. That means A squared is equal to 18 times 24. That means we'll bring 24 and by 18, 32, 16 plus 3, it will be 19, 4 by 1, it will be 2, and here it will be 432. So now we have A squared is equal to 432. After that, we make radical. We multiply the radical for the both sides to cut the 2. That means radical by the 2, and here radical 432. Now we can make it by to divide it by 2 to find the perfect and non-perfect, or to make it approximately. First thing, we'll divide it by 2. That means 432 divided by 2, here by 2, here by 1, it will be 6, then by 2 again, it will be by 1, and here by 18. By 2 again, it will be 9, and here 3 by 3 will give us 3, and here by 1. So that means we have 2, that means here 2, and we have 3. So that means 3 times 2 is equal to 6. What we have alone? 2. That means 6 radical 2. So this is the final answer for A. Or you can by approximately, it will be radical 432 by approximately, it will be 20.78. Okay, so that was for A. Now let us find the height. A, now we have 6 radical 2. Now, in height, as we told before, it will be A1 times B1. So now, let us write the height. H squared is equal to A1 times B1. That means H squared is equal to 6 times 18. And 6 times 18, it will be 6 times 8, 48. 6 times 1, 6 plus 4, it will be 10. We have 108. That means H squared is equal to 108. By radical, for the both sides, it will be 2 cut by the radical, and radical 108. As I told you before, we can divide it by 2 or by approximately. So now we divide it. 108 by 2. It will be here 5, 4. Again by 2. It will be here by 2 and 7. We have here by 3 because by 9, by 3, by 3, and we get each one. So now we have 2 and we have 3, and the ln is 3. So that means 2 times 3 is equal to 6. Radical 3. So now what we have high is 6 radical 3. This was the final answer for question number 3. Now let us go for question number 4, number 5, and to continue the questions. Now let us continue question number 3 and question number 4. Here question number 3 we have 3 1 over 4 minus 2 2 over 3 plus 4 1 over 6. Now we have improper or mixed fraction. So that means we make 4 times 3 is equal to 12 plus 1, it will be 13. That means 13 over 4. Let us write it. 13 over 4. Negative 3 times 2 is equal to 6. And 6 plus 2, it will be 8. That means 8 over 3. Plus 6 times 4, it will be 24. 24 plus 1, it will be 5. So that means 25 over 6. Now what is the LCM between 4, 3 and 6? It will be 12. That means we multiply both by 12. I mean all of the fractions by 12. And here also by 12 and here by 12. Here by 6, here 1, and here by 2. By 1, by 4, by 1, by 3. So now we have 3 times 13, 4 times 8, and 2 times 25. Now we know that 3 times 13, it will be 39 over 12 minus what we have here, 4 times 8, it will be 32 over 12 plus 25 times 2, it will be 50 over 12. Now 39 minus 32, it will be 7. That means 7 plus 50 over 12. The final answer, it will be 57 over 12. This will be the final answer for this question. Now the second answer, if you can see, this is the final answer. Now the next question, it is negative 3 over 4 divided by 0.5 plus 1 over 3 divide negative 4 over 3. Now we have all of the fraction except 0.5. So that means it will be negative 3 over 4 divide 1 over 2 plus 1 over 3 divide negative 4 over 3. Now, first thing we make it by the bod mass. We finish the brackets, but there is still here one bracket. First thing we make the division to convert it times. That means negative 3 over 4 times 2 over 1 plus 1 over 3 times 3 over 4. Here negative. So now after that, here 2 by the 4, it will be by 1, and here by 2, here by 3, 1 and 1. Now we have what? Negative 3 over 2 plus, or you can, because we have positive times negative, it will be negative. So we have negative 1, here we have 1 over 4. So now negative 3 and negative 1, 2 and over 4. Here we make the both by 2. That means negative 3 times 2 and 2 times 2 to be the same fraction here down. Now what we will have negative 6, negative 1 over 4. Now negative 6 and negative 1, it will be negative 7 over 4. And this is the final answer, negative 7 over 4. Okay, so now let us continue and carry on in question 5, question 6 and the other questions. Now let us continue question number 5 and question number 6. Question number 5 that says 4 minus 3, 1 over 3 bracket or times 11 over 16 divide 2, 3 over 4. Now we have mixed fraction and we want to make it proper or improper fraction. First thing, we will do 3 times 3, it will be 9. 9 plus 1, it will be 10. So 4 minus 10 over 3. Okay, in bracket, in one bracket. This is the first bracket. Now the next bracket, it will be 11 over 6. It's the same, okay? 11 over 6. Now 4 times 2, it will be 8. 8 plus 3, it will be 11. So that means divide by 11 over 4. Now after that, we want to make here, it will be 4 over 1. So that means it will be times by 3 to be the same in the denominator. So 4 times 3, it will be 12 over 3, and 12 minus 10 over 3. Now this is the first bracket, and the next bracket, we know that divide, we will convert it to multiplication. So that means in bracket 11 over 16 times 4 over 11. We cut 11 by 11 and 4 by 16, and here by 1 and here by 4. Okay, and 12 minus 10, we have 2 over 3. So that means it will be 2 over 3 times 1 over 4. Now by 2 and here by 2 also, because here 1 and here by 2. So that means it will be 1 over 6. The last answer will be 1 over 6. This is the last answer for this question. Question number 5. Now question number 6 is said that 3 bracket 12 plus 8 over 7 plus bracket negative 5. Now first thing, we'll finish that inside the bracket. 12 plus 8, it will be 20. So that means 3 in bracket of 20 over 7 negative 5. Now 3 times 20 is equal to 60 over 7 minus 5, it will be 2. And here divide by 60, 60 divided by 2, it will be 1, and here it will be 30. So that means the final answer, it is 30. So that was the answer for question number 5 and question number 6. Now let us continue question number 7 and the another questions. Now let us continue question number 7, 8 and 9. Question number 7, it says negative 24 over 5 times 15 over 16 in bracket divide by 6 over 14 times negative 12 over 18. So first thing, we'll finish that is inside the bracket, then we'll finish the outside of the bracket. First thing, now 16 and 24. Here we know by 6. Here it will be by 4. And here it will be by 4 also. And here we have what? By 1. And here by 3. Or you can say here by 6. Or by another thing. Wait a minute. What we say before, here 24, negative 24 over 5 times 15 over 16. Okay, so now we have 16 by 8 and 24 also by 3. So that means here by 2 and here by 3, because 3 times 8 is equal to 24. Now 5 by 1 and here by 3. Now what we have, negative 9 over 2. Okay, this is the first bracket. The next bracket, it will be divide by 4 and 12, here by 1 and here by 3, here by 1 and here also by 3. So that means we have in bracket negative 3 over 3. But after that, we'll change division to multiplication. So that means negative 9 over 2 times 3 over 3. It is the same because the both denominator and numerator is 3. Now we'll cut 3 by 3 here, here up and down by 9 and here by 3. So that means here by 1 and here by 3. So that means negative 3 times 3 is equal to negative 9 over 2. So now this is the final answer for this question, negative 9 over 2. So that was the answer for question number 7. Now question number 8, we have the cube root of 216 and minus cube root of 64. Now what what is the number that gives 216 and 64? If you can make also by division. That means 216 divided by 2. It will be here 1 and here it will be 8. Also by 2 again. It will be by 9 and here it will be by 3, by 3, by 3 and here by 1. So that means we have 2, 2, 3, 3. But this is not a good way for cube root. But if it is a square root, it can be. Now here, we will take the last number or the last digit in the number. So that means 6. Let us make 6 times itself 3 times. That means 6 times 6 is equal to 36. Then times 6 again, it will be 36. 6 times 3, 18. 18 plus 3, it will be 21. So that's true. 6 we can make by the cube root. 6 times 6 times 6 minus. Here the last digit in this number is 4. That means 4 times 4 times 4. So here it will be by the cube root 4 times 4 times 4. Then we'll take only one of them and here one of them. So that means 6 minus 4 is equal to 2. So this is the final answer for this question, question number 8. Now question number 9 is saying to find the simplest form of 7, 1 over 9. Now first thing what we do, 9 times 7 is equal to 63. And 63 plus 1, it will be 64. That means it will be radical 64 over 9. Now it's a square root. That means what is the square root of 64 and 9? 8 times 8 is 64. And 3 times 3 is 9. So that means the square root of 64 over 9 is equal to 8 over 3. And this is the final answer for this simplest form, for this question. So now let us continue the another questions and to solve it together. Now let us continue question number 10 and question number 11. Question number 10, it says that what is the simplest form of radical 2 times radical 32? Now radical 2 and radical 32. We know that it can be 2 times 32, here by 32 and 2, it will be 4 and here 64. So that means it will be 2 times 32 is equal to radical 64. And we know that the square root of 64 is 8. So that means the final answer is 8. This is the final answer for question number 10. Now question number 11, it says that the cube root of 15, 5 over 8. What is the simplest form of this question? Now what do we do? 8 times 15 plus 5. Here times and here by plus. Now we know that 15 and by 8 it will be 120. And 120 plus 5 it will be 125. So that means the cube root of 125 over 8. Now we know that the last number of this or the last digit of this number is 5. That means 5 times 5 times 5. So the cube root of 125 is 3. Is 5. So that means, or if you want to shake it, 25 times 5, it will be 125. And by 8. Now here there is no number by 8 to say the last digit. Now we can make that what is the square root of 8? We don't know because it will be perfect and non-perfect. So that means 4 times 2. But what is the square root of 4? It will be 2. That means 2 times 2 times 2. It will be 8. The cube root of 8 is 2. So the final answer is 5 over 2. This is the last answer for this question. Question number 11 and question number 12. Question number 10. Now let us continue to question number 12 and question number 13. Now let us continue the last two questions in this video. Question number 12, it says that if radical 9.8 is equal to x, then what is the value of radical 980? Now let us find the value for 980. That means it will be here, if you come back for 2 digits, it will be 9.8. The radical of 9.8 times 100, or radical 100. Now we have that 9.8 is equal to x, because he says that if radical 9.8 is equal to x, that means 9.8 is equal to x times the square root of 100 is 10. That means times 10. The final answer, it will be 10x. This is the final answer for question number 2. Now question number 13, it says that if a is equal to 2.4 and b is equal to 3.2, what is the value of radical a squared plus b squared? Now radical a squared plus b squared, first thing we'll make what? We'll make 2.4 squared plus 3.2 squared. Now let us square these numbers. It will be 4 times 4, it will be 16. 4 times 2, 8, 9. 2 times 4, 8. 2 times 2, 4. So here by 6, here by 17, it will be 5. So that means 5.76. Okay, this is the first squared. That means a squared. 5.76 plus 3.2 squared. We'll make it squared and to find the number, and we'll add it for 5.76. 3.2 times 3.2. 2 times 2 is equal to 4. 2 times 3 is equal to 6. Here it will be 6 again, because 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 9. Now we have 4. We have 12. It will be 10. So that means 10.24. We have radical 5.76 plus 10.24. Okay, now we will add it, the point under the point, and it will be 5.76. Now 4 plus 6 is equal to 10, and 3 plus 7 is equal to 10 again. 1 plus 5 it will be 6, and here 1. And here we have point. So that means the radical 16.00. We will cancel 0 because it's after the point. So that means there is no 0. So now what we have, radical 16, and the square root of 16 is 4. So the final answer is 4. This was some questions about maths and about the square roots and the cube roots and about the brackets and the mixed fractions. So this was about 13 questions, and inshallah next time we will make more questions and we'll solve it together. Okay, thank you, goodbye.